Hey there, it's Latrina with Plant Food Rocks, where we promote the benefits of following a plant-based diet because plant food has been proven to reduce the onset of cancer and kill sickness. That's why we say plant food rocks. And today I am back in the kitchen because it's cold outside. It's going to be cold all week, which makes it a perfect time for some homemade soup. And I'm going to share with you a soup that is not only nutritious, but it's also delicious. And as I prepare to make this West African peanut soup vegan, I'm going to tell you why it's not only good, but good for you. We have some sweet potatoes that have been peeled and chopped up, diced up. We have some fresh ginger, some pressed garlic, chopped red onions, a chopped jalapeno, some water, tomato paste, some peanut butter for the peanut part of the peanut soup, some chickpeas, a can of chickpeas, some vegetable broth, extra virgin olive oil, and also kale. The recipe calls for kale or collards, and I chose kale. So these are the ingredients, very simple, and we also have some salt that we're going to add, and at the end we'll add a little heat with some sriracha. So let's talk a little bit about why this soup is so nutritious, and I'll describe some of the nutritional benefits of the ingredients that I chose. Many I chose because of the nutritional value. The recipe calls for certain things, but I had options. And so I want to explain to you why I decided to make certain choices. So here I have some fresh ginger, and I always say fresh is best. The recipe calls for minced ginger or fresh ginger. And I chose fresh ginger because I want to keep it raw and just all of the nutritional value there as often as I can in the ingredients. And so when we're talking about ginger, as a lot of people know, ginger reduces nausea. That's why people drink ginger ale when their stomach's upset. It's because of the ginger that's in ginger ale. It reduces inflammation and pain. It aids in digestion, and it also boosts your immunity. So ginger is great when it's fresh. And I also chose to use fresh garlic. We have, the recipe calls for 3 cloves of garlic. And again, I could have used minced garlic, but I want to use fresh garlic. And fresh garlic is really awesome for immune boosting properties that it has. So it boosts your heart health. It helps lower your blood pressure and your cholesterol. It supports your system against colds and infections. It has that antimicrobial effect, which helps with colds and things like that. As I said, it provides anti-inflammatory properties, which is great for aging. It aids in your gut health as well, and it also may help to lower your blood sugar levels as well. So that's why we chose fresh garlic. And then I also want to talk about, my favorite ingredient here of all. It's the kale. Kale, is, many people know, is a superfood, and that's because it has so many nutritional benefits. The recipe calls for collards or kale. Collards are also good, but kale is my favorite. So has a lot of vitamins, vitamin C, and it really does, because of the leafy greens, it just has a lot of nutritional value. So anytime you can have fresh kale added to something, I recommend that you go for it. And then the last thing I want to highlight are the sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes, as many of you know, has a low glycemic index. Low glycemic index, which means that it helps to lower your blood sugar. It doesn't spike your blood sugar like white potatoes do. So that's why sweet potatoes are often recommended over white potatoes. And then of course, the beautiful color here, it's the beta carotene, which is good for your eye health and your vision. It's the same thing that's good in carrots, the same orange colored type of vegetables. So sweet potatoes are really great for that. And it's also good for potassium and fiber. So fiber helps you feel full, and that helps with your gut health as well. And it also helps with immunity. So there's that. And then the last thing too, I thought that was going to be last, but I also want to highlight chickpeas. So because I am a vegan, chickpeas is one of those plant-based proteins that helps vegans get their protein up. So that's why chickpeas are a really great option. And they have a lot of fiber, so it keeps you full longer, it gets you full faster, and it also helps with your gut health. So those are the nutritional aspects of the soup that we're making, but it's also going to be absolutely delicious. So we're starting it out with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're going to add our onions. jalapeños, and our sweet potatoes. This was one medium sweet potato. I think mine was a little bit larger than medium, but I'm totally okay with that. And we'll just let this simmer down. And the veggies get a little soft. So the sweet potatoes, the onions, and the jalapenos have been cooking for just over 10 minutes. We just needed to let the vegetables soften up quite a bit. And so now we're ready to add some more ingredients. And the next two things we're going to add is the garlic. And this is just 3 cloves of garlic that's been crushed. And some ginger. I grated some ginger. And so we're just adding that in here. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of ginger. And we are going to let this simmer down a little bit. Let this cook in here, the flavor get into the first part of the mixture. It's now time to add in our vegetable broth. Still a little bit of that there. It's going to be 4 cups of vegetable broth and 2 cups of water. And then we're going to let that simmer for 15 minutes. Now that the soup has come to a boil, I'll turn it down a little bit to medium heat to simmer while I prepare the remainder of the soup. So what I've added here is 3/4 cups of peanut butter mixed in with 6 ounces of the tomato paste. And I've added 2 cups of the broth from the soup. And I'm going to stir this until it's smooth and it's getting there. And then I will add it to the soup mixture. So I've added in the tomato paste and the peanut butter mixture, mixing that into the soup. And now we're just going to add the remaining ingredients. So I'm going to add my 1 can of rinsed chickpeas. And we're going to add in our kale. This is probably more than the recipe calls for, I think, but it will cook down very quickly and very easily. So I'm just going to add a little bit more and get that going. So you can see the kale and the chickpeas have thickened the soup mixture. I'm going to let this cook for a little bit longer just for the kale greens to wilt a little bit more, and we should be just about done. So here's the finished result of my West African soup. You'll see the kale seeping through there, the chickpeas and the sweet potatoes are on top. And now all I need to do is give it a taste test. I'm gonna get some sweet potato on here, some of the kale, get one of the chickpeas. It's hot. You can probably still see the steam coming up, so I gotta be careful here. This is really, really, really good. This is surprisingly good because I have to be honest, I was a little reluctant about the peanut butter. I know it's peanut soup, but what I'm really tasting, the peanut butter just has a little flavor in there, so I definitely taste it. But I taste more of the sweet potato, which I love, and that tomato paste helps bring it out too, make it feel more like taste more like a traditional soup with just like a vegetable soup with peanut butter in there. But I tell you, it's really, really good. And one of the other things that it called for in the recipe was some sriracha or some hot sauce at the end. I did have a little sriracha. I added about a tablespoon of that. When I initially put it in, it tasted heat. I felt the heat. But now I'm just tasting more of the tomato base and the sweet potato and the peanut butter for sure. Let's see here. That's hot. It's hot. Hot from the heat, from the temperature, not from the hot from the fire, from the sriracha. But it's really, really good. I think this is a great one to try out. I'm gonna have the recipe included in the notes underneath the video. And it's really simple too. It took me a little longer to make because I'm doing a video, but honestly, it didn't have a lot of complicated ingredients. It's really simple to make, and you make it pretty fast. So I think it's a great one to try, especially now that it's cold outside, and depending on what part of the country you're in, you're probably really in the depths of winter in some of the northern states. So this is really perfect for this week. So I'm gonna take this to work tomorrow and eat on this for a couple of days. But I really hope you'll give this one a try. It's really good. And as I showed you before, it's really, really nutritious. It's gonna help boost your immunity during these flu season that everybody is experiencing right now. Record levels of people getting the flu. So, you know, whatever you can do, some good comfort food to make you feel good, taste good, is also gonna make you feel a lot better. So I hope you'll try this recipe. And also, I really hope that you will take time to subscribe to my channel, as well as subscribe to my newsletter on my website at plantfood-rocks.com, plantfood-rocks.com. Go over to my website and subscribe to my newsletter to get weekly emails and newsletter updates from me at least once a month with the newsletter. So I hope you'll do that so we can stay engaged. And in the meantime, I hope you continue to rock on.